The reason why you were on there is just because you were the board president, so.
Oh, I thought it was the rolling forward.
Well, that and the fact that, when they gonna resurrect it, since you're the board president, then.
It's just the sound whenever you want.
Yeah, Susan is not coming, and like I say, yeah, Pat is,
Meeting to order. I guess we have no citizens input, no delegation, so if we can get a motion to approve the agenda. We have a motion to approve the agenda in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Minutes.
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion carried. Financial reports. You have a summary on the year where we ended up, or anything you want to?
Anything particular to highlight?
Yeah.
Revenue is down, but we had several months without a rec center in terms of the pool and rent in the pool area, so that was a little bit of a change. Overall, other things were fairly close. Some legal information was kind of discussed today via email regarding insurance settlement. That hasn't quite finalized yet, but there is still some work on that, Kevin. In terms of expenses that were lost during the time the rec center was down. Year-end bills, you've seen those month by month up to this point. Different on campground, other than a couple of late November ones that finally got recognized in December, is that correct?
that was rec center.
January? Gotcha. Because there was something on January campground bills here.
That's a cable bill.
Yes.
Those were the school district bills for pretty well
It's electric, I recollect.
We get a motion to approve the financial reports?
I'll make a motion to approve the financial reports.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the financial reports. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carried. Department reports.
I'll go. So right now for programming, we've got our men's basketball league going on, our co-ed volleyball league, and then our youth wrestling program is still going on. That wrestling will go till about the end of March with the state tournament. We also have Jamie has a level 2 swim lesson class that she's going to start here either the 12th or the 19th. I can't remember. So that's online. So that's what we'll have for swimming lessons. And then we'll do another one probably mid to late March before the summer. So, so right now, I mean, Todd and Jamie are kind of working for programs anyway on things for the summer. I put in here where we've obviously been working on the summer brochure, and we did just meet with them again today, and we are going to go from 24 pages to 16 pages. Just condense some things. You know, we have a lot of pictures and stuff in there, you know, that kind of can be filler. So we're going to be able to get everything in there that we need, just in a smaller form. And the money that we're going to save on that, we're going to use towards digital advertising with them, which is going to reach a lot more people as well. So we're excited about that, and they kind of have been talking to us about that for the last couple of years, and so we figured we can start that this year. So we'll see how that all goes. But as of right now, the brochure looks pretty good. We've got our first look back at it, and so we still got a few changes to make and waiting for a few things on that. So as far as the rec center goes, we're pretty much done with all of our projects now. I put in here we were waiting for our new cubbies to come in, along with the entryway carpet, and that got all put in here in the last week. And so now we're pretty much in our the rock climbing wall got put in last week too, and so we started that out this week with the preschool kids and the after school program kids on the rock wall, and they enjoyed it. It's really for about probably 10-year-olds on down, because it's only 10 feet high, and but it's funny watching the preschoolers on there, because some of them are clinging and will not get off, so they got to physically grab them and take them and put them down. It's kind of funny watching them on the video, but the after school kids really like it too. So so that's been good, and all of our floors are down, and everything looks great now, I think. So it's really come together good, and it was kind of perfect timing. We ended up hosting the first Friday coffee with the chamber last Friday, and everything was kind of down, so it was kind of perfect timing for them to come, and we had about 20 to 25 people show up, and got a good tour of the facility to see all the new improvements and stuff. So that was good. Our preschool registration that we started Friday, or on Monday, I should say, online went good. 2 classes are pretty much full. The one class that usually takes a while to fill up, it still has maybe 10 to 12 spots, but obviously we have till August till that happens. So we're excited about that. Next, not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're going to be hosting that gymnastics meet in the front gym with Core Athletics. They needed a place, and so I'm excited to see how that goes. I don't.
4 anchors are all there in terms of what they need to put that program.
Yeah, they don't really need anchors, they said. So I mean, however they do it, they said it'll work. So I hope it works for them. At least for a temporary thing for this year. So I want to be there to check that out. I want to see how that all works. So we're excited about that. So other than that,
doing concessions or anything?
I don't know if they are. They might, because like the swim club will do their own concessions. I mean, we don't have concessions really. I mean, we have the little stuff that we have, the pop and the chips and stuff like that. But usually those organizations will do that as more of fundraising for their overall program. So she hasn't talked to me about that yet, if they're going to do that or not. But I would assume they might. Anybody got any other questions?
When the swim team when they're done,
Mm-hmm.
and then they start again in April, do they use the indoor pool when they start up again? Or
They still do. they use the indoor pool for practice year-round. Even in the summertime, they use the indoor more than the outdoor, just because when the times that they want to use the outdoor pool, we either have maintenance going on to get it ready for the day, or we have our swimming lessons going on. So in the summertime, they use the outdoor pool probably hour in the morning, and then they come in for about an hour and a half to 2 hours after we close.
Is that early morning?
They usually come in about 9, isn't it, Steve, when they're done with the maintenance? They usually come in for about 9 to 10, and then our swim lessons start at 10:15, 10:30. So then they come in the mornings at the rec center as well, depending on what age level they have. They're usually there Monday through Friday morning, anywhere between, depending on what age level you're at, anywhere between 8 and 11 usually. So then they use that. So they like, obviously, in the summertime to be able to swim those 50s, because all their outdoor meets are 50 meters, but
Without flip turns?
yeah. Yep.
All right, my board report's kind of short this time of year, but with all the nice weather, we were able to do a lot of our tree removals. Out of 116 trees, we got 13 left, 2 on the boulevards, and the rest are at Cadwell and then on the south side of the lake. So we're kind of ahead of the schedule on that this year as of now. Been hauling.
Then when stumps come out after that, or they come out right away?
Well, the stumps, yeah, we'll come back and grind the stumps probably end of July, August kind of timeframe when things start slowing down during the summertime. Seasonal staff's kind of done, mowing some areas, weeding some areas that can help us with stumps. We've been hauling tree piles from around the lake and from our pile behind our shop. Other than that, just been working on maintenance on equipment, getting it ready for spring, cleaning around the shop. We had a little bit of snow removal to do this past month. Working on purchasing some equipment that was in the budget, like our new wide area mower, blade for the pickup, and a snow pusher for the payloader. And for the staff, including myself, we had to renew our commercial applicator's license so we can keep on spraying weeds. Any questions?
Steve?
You can see Jeremy's here. He is gone this month. Not the whole month, but he's gone at this month's meeting. So again, tonight, as he was last month, the last month was due to family. This month he took a few vacation days and just happened to be over this weekend. So I apologize for him being gone, but I didn't want to deny him vacation. One of the things he noted on here was Cadwell in terms of that pump project. That irrigation project is taking a bit longer, as he noted, than was hoped due to the delays in obtaining the pump from the supplier. As a result, the irrigation will still happen, but it will take place via city water rather than being pumped from the lake. And that's something that's being absorbed through the administration's taking care of it out of their fees. It's not, or their budget is not coming out of the parks budget this year to pay for the city water, being able to water that complex. Should I move on to Mike?
I had one question.
Sure.
At what point, how much longer do we keep going with the ice bumper cars? I mean, every time I see a report, it's, $90 or,
And that was a question that came up earlier this week as well. And we were putting 6 days a week into that at one point. This year, we're doing 2.
Yeah.
We got a total of 4.5 hours a week going into it as far as staff time. It's not a novelty when you're offering it 6 days a week. At 2 days a week, it's something that people may look forward to. I did the calculations on it, and we may be making a few $100s back on it this year versus spending extra on staff. So it's not becoming an expense to us other than needing to keep the equipment up.
what did we just spend on new batteries and controllers?
Yeah, so it's either you let it go or you keep it going and hope you get better out of it. And this year was a hope to get better out of it type of thing. But we put in last time, and we we made about 80 to 83% of the revenue thus far, what we made last year by working at it a lot fewer hours. So we're doing okay and not losing money at it, other than, again, the reinvestment in the parts.
Has there been much for renting the space this year or not? No.
You mean, you're talking the
Like
arena as
group, yeah.
whole, or?
Like group rental of the,
That will be a Jeremy question. I don't have that specific information on me. There was additional, of course, with the sled hockey, having been here a couple of weeks ago, that was something new, and they rented space, that was about $1,200 worth, I believe, over the course of that week. That was something new and exciting to see here. Shall I move on to mine? Tree removal rates, we'll touch base on that as an agenda item here coming up. Campground emergency shelter, I noted that the city did get awarded that grant by FEMA. The feds will cover 90% of the cost of that, the state emergency management 10%, and the city will need to pick up what the cost is of adding the restrooms and showers to that building, because wouldn't be included in a storm shelter. At that time of the design, it was about $81,000 for that cost, and we'll see how that cost may change overall for the facility by next year when it's actually constructed. Trails Committee, I noted in here that they'll be meeting for the first time in several years again next week on Tuesday late afternoon rather, with a few things on the budget for what on the agenda for what they're discussing: the current bike trail system, status of the Share the Road project, Highway 37 bike trail project from the bypass to National Guard Road, the proposed trail from Franks Bay to the West End Bridge, and the natural surface trails. Supplemental appropriations. So in this case, it's the items that didn't get accomplished and other things that may have gotten removed from the budget that we requested going into the year. And some of those things that we made request of, that'll be going into the next council meeting a couple of weeks from now include, thank you for scrolling ahead, our Patton Young Playground. All that equipment is in, but it's not yet installed, so there's some concrete that needs to go into the ground, as well as wood chips. The rubber ground surface is here as well. Those guys will have a couple of weeks of labor, maybe more than a couple of weeks of labor installing that after spring finally arrives. Cadwell press box, Cadwell lift station, equipment for Parks Department, cemetery and golf course. Phase 2 at the golf course, arena roof, there's some carryover funds. We got some patching done, and as of Jeremy's report, there weren't any leaks yet with the spring thawing, so we're hopeful that what we've got thus far, but there's other repairs, as though those of you who are arena related know, be it the insulation that's on the underside of that roof or greater than that. Parks furnace in the wood shop, that's something that will get, it was an expense already this year, but we're able to cover that with some funds we're carrying over from last year. Cemetery truck transmission, campground boat lift, it will be funded in full, including the canopy for it, Steve, so it's not something where we'll have to put the canopy on that pontoon as we have it ready for rental. Cadwell supplies and materials, campground safe room, and cemetery headstone repair are some of the things that we're requesting to carry funds over into this year. Superintendent meetings, we try to meet weekly, but based upon people's schedules or whether or not there might be at least 2 guys gone at a time, then we wouldn't meet either. Trees grant press coverage, I noted in here that the newspaper did an article on it, and earlier this week the chamber invited me over to do a short video discussing where some of the trees be planted as well as where the funding came from. And John McLeod also came to talk to me today so that he'll have an understanding of where the trees are going, so when people ask him, he'll know as well. Had a call from a woman from Carthage this morning, and actually it was yesterday, and she's wanting to, in memory of her son who passed away recently, to design and build a disc golf course in their community. So I was able to refer her to a couple of people. We weren't able to find a local design person who designed ours here, but I was able to refer her to some other people that designed them, and somebody who I knew in Austin who was really big into, and a local person as well who put on who hosted the state tournament here. I've heard nothing more from Courtney or Emily on funding toward the equipment, which they are aiming to get placed along the Cadwell Loop. John is continuing, John McLeod, with cleanup along the lake. That's something I thought he kind of hung it up over the winter months, but this open winter and nice weather has led to him continuing to work along the south side. And see, Steve has already got out there and cleaned up what he took down. Some of the things we want to look at for next month or the month after will be naming spaces along the lake. As Steve has noted, and some of his staff, and even John McLeod's crew, when they're out there working, to give descriptions to, well, go to this space and do this cleanup or this mowing. It's hard for Steve's staff even. For the ones who've been there from year to year, they mostly get it, but for brand new people who are coming there, try to describe it to them. Even some of you who may have grown here and been here a long time, it's necessary. So we'll come with either the intent of coming up with names. They'll tell you the names. Steve will bring a list of what they have called different things. We'll see if we think those things are appropriate. We'll discuss them, and then a month later come back and propose names or actually name those areas and get signage that made up that's appropriate to those spaces. Questions? Agree, disagree? Okay, appropriate names.
Where doesn't, that's what I was trying to go, where doesn't have a name? Maybe it's just names we always use, but they're not real names. I don't know.
Well, there's some areas that are kind of got names that we all kind of Mitchell know, like Kippis Cove or Redstone, or just an area between the two West End bridges, you know. But some of these places don't have names. And it's kind of hard to direct staff and when they're new, or high school, college kids, when they're not sure where to go.
So I had a call from somebody on the island today out there. They're doing construction on a home, and they noticed somebody in a car tearing around on that point between the two West End bridges, and there's not a name for it. So I to describe it to PD to refer somebody out there to take a look at it, and I drove out there as well. There's not a name. Just what he indicated. It's between the bridges. But that'll be a unique one to try to name. Pardon?
That is a spot. Well, I was just trying to think of open, yeah, I don't know what the name of that place is.
And Red Rock, well, that's something you call it, but is it really?
Yeah, Redstone's on the north side of the lake, and that area with their stairs that go down. It's got that metal picnic shelter. We've always known it as Redstone, but somebody else might call it something different.
So Red Rock's not a go then? Any questions of me? That'd be it for my report.
Tree removal, or, yeah, 2024 tree removal ordinance.
So I carried over the document that we discussed last month, but removed the other two columns, one being what the rates currently are, the other being what they would be with a 25% increase, and then left this one as we discussed it. People were leaning toward a greater increase, which about matches what the FEMA rental rates currently have gone up to. So overall, this is a 50% change from what the current rates are.
And when do we charge these rates? Just in the boulevards when they want them removed, or? is it-
Yeah, they're just for boulevard trees, you know, like ash, though, we're not charging for. If they're heaving the sidewalk or damaging infrastructure or got to come out for a street project, then we don't charge. It's just dead trees that need to come out that aren't really causing any other issues, but being dead.
I'll make a motion to approve the rates.
A motion and a second.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2024 tree removal rates. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed say no. Motion carried. I have March 14th for the next meeting date. Looking if we can get the majority there, I'll just leave it at that, I guess. Well, those mid-March times are kind of spring break and everything.
Is that
Could be
spring
baseball
break?
season, may not be. Could be track season, may not be.
Yeah.
It's on the weather. But spring break still happens regardless.
Yeah.
That's spring break weekend, right?
Right before. Wow. Guess I'm not hearing any complaints, so we'll leave it at March 14th then at 6 PM. Meeting adjourned.